This is the most important poker tournament of my career. Everything I've done this year has led me to this moment. A chance at winning tens of thousands of dollars. Like I told you yesterday, although at the time I didn't actually have that many big blinds when day one concluded, on day two we rolled back the blinds, so I'm back here playing some blinds I've already played. That's good for me because that means our stack is worth more. We now have 40 big blinds when yesterday we had like 10. Either way, it's level 14 and it's 4K, 2K, 4K big blind ante. Cutoff and the button are not at the table. There's only like 5 or 6 of us here at the game, so I decided to do something pretty stupid and try to show that I'm the table captain for whatever reason. I make it 8,000 to go off my 40 big blind stack with queen 3 offsuit. Yeah, not great. Small blind makes a call and the flop comes out ace king 5 rainbow. He checks, I see bet, and he calls. The turn's a 7 of diamonds. Once again, I'm gonna pretend like I have a strong ace, so I bet, and once again the opponent calls. River's a 3 of clubs, and now if we're gonna go with it, I guess we gotta go with it. Although I do pick up some showdown value, I just don't beat anything. I can't think of a realistic hand that isn't already a made hand. I'm just trying to get specifically king 10, king jack, king queen to fold. I don't think I can get an ace to fold, so I don't need to bet that big. I make it 24,000 and our opponent calls pretty quickly and shows ace 10. What the fuck am I doing? Why did I just torch half my stack for no reason? Well, at least I got the punting out of the way pretty early. I'm sitting on 89,000 and the big blind is 5,000. So the blinds have gone up and my stack has gone way the hell down. Early position big stack, who I punted to, raises to 12K. I'm in the small blind with pocket keyruns, pocket kings. We decided 3-bet jam. He calls pretty quickly, showing ace queen. We've got a flip. We're a big favorite, but can we hold? The flop is jack 6-5 with 2 clubs. The turn's a 10 of spades. So now we need to dodge our own kings. Otherwise, we scoop this pot. No ace, no king dealer. The river's paint, but it's a queen. We hold in a massive pot. That is going to breathe new life into our system. We needed it badly. We needed it right now, and we got it. Let's go. Tournament poker for me has always been about momentum. When I'm doing really well, I feel like I can kind of catch myself really starting to settle into the session. The problem is sometimes, like you saw in the first hand, I just get carried away with the moment and I make mistakes. I'm not going to do that today. I want to run deep. I made a promise to my mom in the summer that I'd make 25K, and unfortunately, I didn't come all the way through. Luckily, the year is not over and I can still make up for it today with a deep run in this tournament or just by pulling a massive bounty. And as you guys know, the bounty up top is worth tens of thousands of dollars. Anyways, this next hand starts off with early position, make it 12,000 to go. I pick up pocket tens and decided 3-bet to 33K. The flop is ace, ace 4 with 2 hearts. A little sketchy for sure, but when the opponent checks to me, I want to down bet to 18,000 and he calls. The turn is now a 10 of diamonds. Woo, that's exactly what we needed right now. With everything being a little sketchy, it's a little easier when you make a boat. He checks it over to me and I'm going to go ahead and bomb it. I make it 43,000 chips to go. And then he tank jams. Holy shit. I was not expecting that. I don't think this is a bluff all that often, but obviously our hand's just way too good to ever fold. If he shows me ace 10, I'll throw up in my freaking hands. But instead, he shows pocket deuces. This guy's drawing stone cold dead, and we double up once again. These people are just giving me the money, man. Let's go.
What a fucking roller coaster we've been on. It's been actually insane. We were down to like 80K like 2 seconds ago, and now we have over 400K. The craziest spin up of my life, probably. But we're staying focused. Let's get back in there. Let's keep firing, baby. Let's go. Come on, stay in there with me, baby. I told you, unfinished business. Let's go.
So after punting in that first hand, things have rapidly taken a turn for the better. And that's really good. Like we mentioned, momentum is huge. In this next hand, the momentum is not stopping anytime soon because we pick up pocket fucking ladies. Pocket queens. What a sight for sore eyes. I mean, my eyes are not that sore. I'm like winning every pot. So let's do it. I go ahead and raise to 16,000, the minimum. Both blinds make the call and the flop is a little dicey. 9, 6, 5 with 2 diamonds and a club. Small blind does something odd and donk leads for 34,000. It seems like I didn't know that I was on the Donkey Express, but hey, I'm not complaining. Action folds to me and I've got 220,000 in my stack. I'm in a bit of a perplexing situation. There's well over 110 or 120,000 in the pot already. This is a super wet board texture, and usually when people donk lead on boards like this, they tend to fall into the big draws, the marginal pairs type holding. I don't think my opponent's all that strong. Again, I don't want to discount the fact that he could have any of the sets on the board or even some flop straights, but my gut at the moment just makes me feel like I've got the best hand, I want to go all in, and I want my opponent to either fold a bunch of the equity that he's probably going to have, like a flush draw or a straight draw, combo draw, or if he wants to call off with those hands, I'm still a favorite, or at least close to a decent one at that. A little bit sketchy, and quite a lot of chips go in the middle when I say all in for 220,000 chips. My opponent stands up, looks at the board, and eventually makes the call, and he shows 9 fucking 5 offsuit. What in the flying hell did I just get myself into? This guy cold called from the small blind with 9-5 offsuit, flops 2 pair, and now I'm the idiot in the hand. Oh man, my heart sinks to the bottom of my stomach. My day 2 just can't end like this. No, please, poker gods, I need this, please. The turn is a 7. It doesn't help me in the slightest. And the river card is a 7. And that 7 saves us because it pairs the board. His 2 pair is counterfeited. His 9s and 5s turn into 9s and 7s, which don't beat queens and 7s. Holy shit, the poker gods came through. That last hand just goes to show you when momentum is cooking, man. It's freaking cooking. Huge bailout in the last one, and we now pick up another interesting situation. An early position player that has not very many chips limps in for 8,000 off of, let's say, about a 90,000 chip stack. I'm in late position with pocket 7s. I go ahead and isolate here to 25k. Only the under the gun limper makes a call, leaving himself about 85, 80k behind, somewhere in that neighborhood, and the flop comes out jack 10-6 with 2 hearts and a spade. Again, not an ideal flop, 2 overs and a bunch of draws, but when he checks it to me, I go all in. Look, clearly it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that I'm just clearly on winner's tilt. This is not a good jam. This makes absolutely no sense. In my head, I'm just thinking, oh no, if he has like ace 5 suited, these kind of weird hands people limp with, he just folds and I take down the hand and, you know, deny the equity. But in reality, this is just going to crush a lot of his limping range, like the queen jack, the king jack, these kind of random holdings. And, you know, if he has a big draw like king queen, I mean, he's still like damn near even money against me. And if he has a combo draw, he's actually a favorite. So I don't love my jam here for many a reason, but clearly we know why I did it. Anyways, he makes a call pretty quickly with ace jack. So he flops top pair, top kicker. We don't improve, and we clearly are on winner's tilt, and we instantly throw away 100,000 chips for no reason. Tournaments are so different from cash games, and I know you hear that a lot, but it just really is the truth of the matter. In that last hand in a cash game, you kind of just push it off as a dust off, reload some chips, and you call it a new day. But in a tournament, I have to earn those chips back. There's no reloading here. I'm deep on day 2. Every chip matters. Just conserving your chips matters. And that last hand was really stupid. We now got to climb uphill once again, but luckily we have a little bit of chips that have come our way since the last one. A bunch of small pots, just stealing pots here and there, using my image, taking advantage of the simple fact that I'm going to be a little more aggressive than the players here at the tables that are remaining, so we have over 500,000 chips again. It's a 12,000 big blind level when the action folds to the small blind and he jams for 90k. As we talked about, this is a bounty structured tournament, so you want to be calling a little more wide because if you win the bounty, there's a chance that you could pull for a bounty. It could be worth a lot, but either way, even if you bust them, you're guaranteed to pull some type of bounty prize. I look down at king deuce offsuit. It's not great, but again, my opponent is jamming for like 7 big blinds. So although it's a little painful, I do got to make the call here, and our opponent quickly flips over ace 9 offsuit. We're behind, but we need to catch up immediately. The flop is exactly that. King jack 7 with 2 hearts and a spade. The turn's a 3, and the river is a king. We hold by making trips, and we get to bust him out, and now we get a chance to pull from the bounty jar. Let's go.
More like that. This is my skill, dude. I'm one of the best bounty pullers this side of the Mississippi. This side of the Mississippi, yeah? Boom. This board right here. What's the way to sweat it? I'm gonna put the top here. That'll work. Oh, this one's. I can feel it. I can feel it. Oh, that's terrible. What the fuck am I doing?
I thought you were the best bounty puller on this side of the Mississippi.
Best bounty puller on this side of the Mississippi. We're just gonna bring it down. Are you gonna just kneel in?
Where you're sitting right here, we'll get you paid out.
Yeah, you know my ID you said?
No. Yeah, you're good. We'll bring it over.
Thank you. Ooh,
Got some chips though.
that's worth something.
I don't say this lightly, but this next hand, I promise you, is the most incredible hand that I probably have played this entire year. Once again, we're sitting on well over 500,000 chips. The blinds have gone up to 16,000 and middle position raises to 36,000. Starting off around the same stack as me. I go ahead and 3-bet to 110,000 after looking down at ace queen offsuit, the parking lot hand. Hopefully I don't end up in any parking lots or any poker home games for that matter. Yeah, that would really suck. Probably get cheated. FBI would raid my house. You know, just these are all bad things. Anyways, I'm continuing along here. I go ahead. Our opponent goes ahead and makes a call, and we're flopping jack 9-3 rainbow. He checks. Action is now on me. I go ahead and c-bet for 80k. We have 2 overs. We have aggression in the hand, and I don't want to give that up. Our opponent calls. The turn is a queen. All right, we make top pair. It's super coordinated, but I should be betting for value, I think, still. So I make it 110,000. The opponent calls once again. We're going to a third street now. The river is a 10. It's pretty bad. There's just no two ways around it. Any king or any 8 now make a straight. If our opponent had a hand like ace king or, I don't know, 8-9 or something like that, this is a disaster. But otherwise, I just want to throw out a small bet here. There's a lot of the time he's going to have a 2 pair, right? But I just don't want to have to call a big bet. There's a small chance we have the same hand, and if I throw out a small blocker bet, either I don't allow him to bluff or he folds maybe. So call this a merge value semi-bluff donk bet, but I just throw out 40k and my opponent just snap folds. What? What? Okay, I'll take it. I don't even know what to call that last hand. Maybe it's poker, maybe it's bingo, maybe we were playing Yahtzee. We could have possibly been playing Go Fish, but whatever the case may be, I'd love to know in the comments section what you think my opponent had. Yeah, because I literally couldn't put him on a hand. Anyways, this next hand's another fun one. Still the same blind levels. Under the gun jams for 45,000. I'm next to act, and we look down at pocket queens. Once again, there's that bounty out there that is still eligible for me to be having at it. So I decide to 3-bet. I make it 105k to go. Obviously, I think that's the best option. Just don't want a bunch of people trying to get after this bounty. But that doesn't seem to deter the button because he 4-bets to 225k. Action back over to me. I could 5-bet here sometimes, but he has a lot of chips and I have a lot of chips. That seems like a bad idea, to be honest. So I'm going to play a pot out of position, but with a strong hand. So I make the call, and the flop's kind of weird. It's jack 6-3 with 2 clubs, you know, hoping that my opponent has a hand like ace, you know, king or ace 5, ace 4 suited, these kind of weird hands, but it just feels like he's going to have aces, kings, and jacks here a lot of the time. So I check it over to him, and he actually bets out for 105k, and I make the call. The turn is a 4 of hearts. At this point, I'm just kind of indifferent with everything that's happening. Like, I could have the best hand here a lot of the times. I could have the worst hand and be drawing super thin. But when I check it, my opponent surprisingly checks it back. Okay, we're going to a river card that's now the 9 of spades. So at this point, I've got a nut up or shut up. When I check it over to my opponent, if he bets, I just have to look him down, pick up on a live read, and do my best to make the best decision. Whether that's call or fold, we'll have to find out. But not today. He checks it back, and when he checks it back, I'm always good. I flip over my hand confidently, and he shows ace queen offsuit. We take a massive pot down, and we also win another bounty.
Number 2, try number 2. This one's calling my name. Let's change that to you. Come on, boys, easy one. Let me close my eyes. Oh, dude, I'm scared about this game, man. What the fuck am I doing? I'm about to get it. Thank you.
2K becomes chump change, huh?
Yeah. 21. 2100.
The good news is we're no longer playing hands like queen 3 offsuit. The bad news is it's not that much better. But give me a break. The middle position player raises to 50k. I'm in the big blind. Queen and offsuit is definitely good enough to defend, so I go ahead and make the call. The flop gives us middle pair, and the board is 9-8-5. I check it to my opponent, he bets, and I make the call. The turn is an excellent one. It comes out the queen. We improve to top and middle pair. When I check it over to my opponent, he bets out 140k. Not much of a decision here. We can raise sometimes, but checking here to continue him telling his story of a bluff or value betting worse is fine, so I go ahead and make the call. The river card is a 7 of clubs. When I check it over to my opponent, I've pretty much set my decision on the fact that I don't think middle position is going to be raising with too many hands that contain a 6. Again, there's a small chance he has 5-6 suited, 7-6 suited, ace-6 suited, but outside of that, not too many hands that are going to c-bet this flop and, you know, double barrel the turn when it comes to queen, contain a 6. So when I check it to him and he bets for 370k, I don't know if it's a bluff, honestly. Maybe he's value betting a really strong overpair, like kings or aces, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Maybe he's value owning me with the set. I realize there's a 4-liner out there, but it's just not going to stop me. I have to make the call to keep him honest, and he shows us straight. Jack 10. Ay, 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 not good for me. I let my opponent get there. I mean, who are we joking? He was never folding the flop, and when he got there on the turn, I needed to get there on the river. That's going to put a huge wrench in this entire session. We're nearing the final table bubble. We've made it this far. I don't want to fail. I got to do it, man. I just got to do it. Every poker session kind of climaxes to the one big hand. We've been able to catch huge breaks and win huge flips every single point to this exact moment. But I promise you one thing, I'm not going to take my foot off the gas. I've got to stay consistent, I've got to stay confident, and more importantly, I got to stay aggressive. I can't just let the blinds eat at me and eat at me over time. We're close to the final table. I know the pressure of making the final table is huge, so I've got to really lean on my big stack. Sitting on 1.5 million chips, the button raises. He's also a pretty big stack. He makes it 40k, and I looked on a king-queen offsuit. Easy spot for me to 3-bet, so I make it 100k to go. The button makes a call. We're going off to a flop here that's 10-7-3 with 2 clubs. I do have a club in my hand if I'm not mistaken, and with 2 overs, I don't love the c-bet, but I kind of get where my head's at. Keep the foot on the gas, stay locked in, be aggressive. I make it 60k, our opponent makes a call. The turn's the ace of diamonds, and at this point, in this specific hand, at this juncture, I think we gotta go for it. I don't really love bluffing massive spots like this versus massive stacks, but hey, at some point you've got to grow a pair of, and it seems like clearly that moment is right now. I go ahead and double barrel, representing the ace now, which is pretty credible, I feel like. Our opponent makes a call, though. The river is pretty terrible. It's another ace. This is where I don't love it. It's clearly a spot that I shouldn't be bluffing. Anytime the top card pairs on the river, I talk about it all the time, it's just not great to bluff at, and I still bluff at it. I bet 280,000 and I can't even get the chips out. My opponent snap calls. He flips over an ace and I'm just gutted. I just dusted a huge portion of my stack for completely no reason. I get where my head's at. I like the aggression pre-flop. Even on the flop is fine, and even on the turn, I'm cool with. Dusting off nearly 300k on the river for no reason is just so bad. He's not going to fold any 10 there, really, especially not for that sizing, so I just hate myself for it. But once again, I'm back in recovery mode. Once again, we're on the roller coaster, and once again, we're just getting the shit beaten out of us, and it's almost like I'm just punching myself in the head at this point. So there's 11 people left. We're on the final table bubble and we're 6-handed. So that means not that many people are here and we should be opening a tad bit wider. Sitting on 700k about at the 25k big blind level. Easy spot for us to raise when we look down at an ace. I make it 50,000 to go, the middle position and the big blind make the call. The flop comes out giving me middle pair with the best kicker, Jack 5-4 rainbow. Opponents check over to me, and I decide to c-bet for 60,000. Equity denial. I can still get called by worse, of course, so I make that c-bet, but both players make the call. Obviously, some red flags here. Got to be a little cautious, and the turn card comes out the 3 of spades. A straight now comes in, and beyond that, I do pick up a gutter ball to a straight to bail me out just in case I need it. Action checks to me. Easy spot for me to realize some equity, so I check it as well, and the in-position player checks it through. River card is the perfect gin card. It's the deuce of hearts. I don't think too many of us are going to have 6s here, but then again, I've been wrong on a lot of spots today. Action checks to me, and I consider betting here. I think betting would be pretty smart, but the problem I'm having is it's hard to get called by worse. It sounds a little weird when I say this out loud, but I'm never going to get an ace to fold, and aces are chopping anyways, so there's that. A 6 is never folding, and 6s are beating me, and there's not a lot of like 2-pair combos that would make sense on a board this weird, and I think someone would have bet a king by this point. So all that going on in my head, I'd rather play my hand as a trap and maybe let one of these guys bluff. So I check it to the in-position player. He checks it back pretty quickly. I just win this hand every single day of the week. Dealer, pass me my chips. He's not passing me my chips. I'm like, floor, this guy, can we fire this guy? He's not giving me the chips. I won the hand. Oh, yeah, Sherlock. Big blind had 3-6. Oh, my gosh. We were just trapping each other. Nobody fell for it. That was so detrimental. A huge pot in the grand scheme of things. This would have been huge. It would have put me over 1 million chips again, but just like that, we lose a pretty meaningful pot on the final table bubble. We're gonna need to get shit together very quickly, or it's gonna be a very difficult trek the rest of the tournament through.
Poker has been like surprisingly difficult today. There's been a lot of ebbs and flows. I feel like I've had to pull out my A game. I've gone for some big bluffs, which I'm really proud of. I didn't give up in spots, so a lot to look forward to on this dinner break, a lot to kind of build off of. We're on the final table bubble though, and I think we're the shortest stack. Right now is all about just staying in a good mental space. A decent amount of the time, we're gonna bubble this final table, understanding that that's a reality, and just doing the best I can and allowing the cards fall wherever they may. Don't be results oriented, stay positive, stay in the moment. This is a big deal. Not even for the money. Like I said, unfinished business. I keep saying it. I'm gonna say it again. Unfinished business. I'm locked in. Let's get it, baby. Come on. Dinner break was pretty solid. Like I said, at this point, it's wherever the chips may fall. We have unfinished business. And this is the closest we've ever been. The deepest run I've ever made in a tournament that really matters. We've won other ones in casinos, but nothing this big. Or, you get what I'm trying to say. Feel good though. Let's get it.
All right, we've made the final table. We're 9-handed at this point. I'm under the gun and I have like no chips. I have 400K and the big blind I believe is 30K. So yeah, this is rough. This is Mayday zone. But luckily for me, I looked down at ace-10 offsuit. Not the best hand on planet Earth, but in fact, it's really good when you're short on blinds. And in this case, although we have to get through 8 other players for this to be successful, our hands too good to ever fold here. I got a jam. I've got a double up. Hopefully we get called by worse, or we just take down the free chips in the middle. I jam for 400,000 chips with ace-10 offsuit, and one by one, everyone folds. Lucky, lucky me. We bought ourselves one more orbit in this instance. We're just immediately into the big blind in the next hand though. After winning that last hand, I feel like a little bit of weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I've paid for my blinds with that jam in the last hand. So now, hopefully we can keep things pretty chill for like the next few shuffles. Yeah, that's not what's going to happen. Immediately, we get into a freaking crazy one. Early position raises to 60,000. Late position makes a call, and I'm in the big blind with queen at 10 of diamonds. We can go several ways with this. Honestly, we can even just jam pre-flop and try to get it heads up or just take the free money down. There's like well over a quarter or 30% of my entire stack in the middle for free to be had, but I decide, let's see a flop. Let's see if we can't make a pair before we do anything crazy or drastic. I'm happy we did. We flopped top pair on a pretty interesting board texture. There's a flush draw out there, but outside of that, not a whole lot more. So when the action checks to the original raiser, he actually checks it to the in-position player. Late position now bets for 125,000. This guy's a gentleman. I'm going to be honest with you. One of the sweetest guys I've met in poker. But at this moment, he is my adversary. He is my opponent, and I've got to beat him with top pair and a decent kicker and the simple fact that I don't have that many chips and there's a bunch of chips in the middle. Easy spot for us to go all in. I jam for 365,000 chips. The original raiser folds, and the action is over to that nice, lovely gentleman who eventually makes a call. He flips over ace, jack of spades. He has a huge amount of equity in this hand. Any ace, any running straight cards, or any spade would give him the best hand. Dealer, I need you to do me the biggest favors. If we win this pot, we have well over 1 million chips. I'm back in the driver's seat, and I promise you, if I double up, I will win this tournament every single gosh darn time without a doubt in my mind. I'm ready to succeed. I found a way to hold when I was ahead. At this moment, I need to fucking hold. Dealer, one time. With tens of thousands of dollars at risk, the turn falls a spade. My heart sinks. I'm heartbroken. Everything that I spent the last 16 hours working my ass off to do by one turn card ended instantly. I'm drawing dead. There's no worse feeling in poker than that. I'm grabbing my belongings. It feels like there is a frog in my throat. I can't even muster any words to say. I try to be a gentleman. I leave the table, and just like that, the dream is dead.
Today was a long and grueling day. On one hand, I'm really disappointed at the finish. Feels like did the best I could with the circumstances, granted, but I don't know. Whenever you get this close, all you can do is think about, obviously, the most optimal thing happening or the best thing happening, which is winning. But to be fair to myself, 8K is nothing to be shying away from. I think that brings our total on the year to over 40,000 now, which is huge to put us back in the right direction after a little bit of a kind of stagnant summer was what I would say. Yeah, all that being said, just want to say I'm thankful and I'm super grateful for the support on these videos. They have been unbelievably remarkable to this point, so thank you. And outside of that, I just want to say thank you to everyone that showed support. I've been uploading a lot or updating a lot on my Instagram. You can check me out at Close to Broke. Disappointed, but I'm super thankful and I'm super grateful. And I think my tournament poker game is a little wonky. I can admit that I don't do things the optimal way, clearly, or the robotic way. I do play a lot by feel, and it works for me, I think. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Doses.